We are in the Teaching and Learning Center, also known as the library here at Delta College, with Jeff Vande Zande, professor in the English division here at Delta College. And Jeff, I want to thank you for coming in. And one of the things that I had learned about is that the English division offers certificates. What certificates, and what is a certificate? An English division certificate.
Then that's one of the things that I've been involved in. 13 years ago, when I came here, we did not have certificate programs in English, and one of the things that I've been really involved with is creative writing. And I was running into a lot of students who were taking many of our creative writing classes, and yet the only way you would know that is if you looked at their transcripts. And I thought these students deserve to have some recognition of these intensive writing classes that they're taking beyond Comp 2. So that's where we developed our certificate in general writing, which is a 12-credit certificate. And the 12 credits just have to be in, they don't have to be in creative writing, they just have to be in any of our 200 level writing courses.
I see.
But out of that, we've also grown, then we have a technical writing certificate, which is a little more credits, a little more work, and it's a little bit more lockstep as far as what courses you have to take to earn that certificate. But we've heard from some area employers how important it is that their employees not only know how to be a nurse or know how to be a police officer, but can also write well and communicate well in writing. So we've been encouraging students who think they're only here for a nursing degree or a corrections officer degree or what have you to consider getting the technical writing certificate.
Another thing I'm fascinated by and had thought about, I was going to ask you, why English? Why would you pursue English? Because I'm noticing in the English that's used in the computer world or cyberspace, it's altogether different. I've noticed, I've asked, I have nephews that are teenagers, and what does this mean? What does that mean? And it's like they're rewriting English. Does English accommodate for that, or does English fight with that?
And I think if you're thinking in terms of like some of the acronyms we're seeing now, like LOL for laughing out loud or what have you in the texts.
That was something I had to. What is LOL? I had to ask.
And like I think thanks would be THX because it's just a easier to type THX on your phone, or at least it was. I understand as keyboards are developing with smartphones, etc., you're seeing less of that. That actually the communication is becoming more grammatically correct, and you're seeing complete sentences and complete words more now because it's easier to type them. That the abbreviations just came from speed, especially when you were working on an old phone keyboard. It just was faster to abbreviate almost everything.
Okay. So some of those acronyms are going to be disappearing? Is that your prediction?
That was something that I heard on NPR, somebody talking about how it is moving back towards, because full sentences can be written on a phone relatively easily, you're seeing more of them now. But as far as why English, I think the ability to communicate something in writing, the importance of that, and the ability to also be able to read something and fully appreciate what it's saying, both on the surface level and the nuances. Those are just skills that don't go away, and the need for them doesn't go away. And we hear it even, not to bring everything back to employment, but you hear that from a lot of employers is they seem to be able to do what we need them to do, but they can't write. We need the writing skills because so much is communicated through email, so much is communicated through writing, within the workplace. That even just being able to write a decent police report, how important that is to be able to get it down, and somebody else, especially when there's possible litigation and it's going to the courts and everyone has to understand what happened. They're reading that and it's got to be well written.
we have parents, grandparents in the audience, and I'm curious as to what can a parent or grandparent do with, let's say, the elementary or middle schooler to help enhance their language skills, English or writing or even reading. Mm-hmm. What do you recommend for children so that by the time they come to Delta, they're prepared and ready to go?
Well, it's a little bit out of my area as far as teaching younger, because that's a challenge I think in middle school and high school, is to keep the interest, to get students to want to read, to want to write. And I think the big thing is letting them read and write what they want to write about. And don't take those comic books out of their hands, because comic books are reading too. And it's
comic books?
Even comic books, reading the dialogue that the characters, and they're actually somewhat
really?
They're somewhat sophisticated, the storylines within a lot of the modern comic books. So if somebody's reading a comic book, I don't think you do them any good by ripping the comic book out of their hand and sticking a book in their hand and say, no, read this instead. I'd say at the middle school age and even the high school age, any reading is reading, and the same goes for writing. Trying to get them to write about things that they would be interested in. It is challenging to get people to write in a meaningful way. When I teach one of my classes, I have students write a letter of complaint and a letter of compliment, and they actually have to send that to a business that they have. If they bought a pair of jeans and it ripped early, they would write a letter to this business and explain what happened and send it out. And I think I like that assignment because there's a real audience, and I do bring in envelopes and stamps, and I make them send them all out. And when they start getting responses, they're so excited that somebody responded. And oftentimes they'll see the power of writing, where you'll have a student say, they sent me a $50 gift certificate for a new pair of jeans. I didn't know that it was as easy as just sitting down and writing a specific letter telling them what my concern was. So I think finding ways so it doesn't seem like writing is just something that gets graded, but they can go out into the world and make a difference. And I think when students see the power of writing, so even trying to get people to get your middle school kids to write to cousins who are somewhere else, in the excitement of receiving even an email. It doesn't have to be a letter, but just something that it goes out, there's an audience and somebody responds to it, I think can start to get people interested in writing.
Speaking of audiences, I did confirm, and I want to share with our audience that you are an author. Mm-hmm. You have, I believe, 3 novels. Yep. And some other
collections of short stories.
Collection of short stories,
mm-hmm.
and that these books are available on Amazon.
They are.
And we thank the public library.
Yeah, they should be available in any of the Midland, Bay City, or Saginaw libraries, and maybe some of the other community libraries as well.
Jeff Vande Zande, thanks for coming in,
right.
And appreciate spending some time with us.
All right, thanks for having me.